commitment. Wouldn't you love it if everyone in the church who said they would do something would actually do it? And then you come to these Millennial and Gen Z. I mean, for goodness sakes, how do you get them to stay committed? Well, we're going to talk about exactly that in this episode of Church Tips. Stay tuned. Hey friend, welcome to Church Tips today. We are excited to have our content manager here of Leaders.Church, Ryan Sparks. Ryan's been working with us for the last couple of years, and the guy who's normally sitting here, Jonathan, is out on a well-deserved break for a few days. So we're going to take opportunity to talk for the next 3 episodes about issues specific to Millennials and Gen Z. So, Ryan, hey, it's great to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about you.
It's great to be here. I'm a student at North Central University in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I've poured my heart and soul into ministry, and I'm just excited to be here and talk about this.
Well, we love it. We love it. Give us a jump start on some things that you're seeing with Millennials and Gen Z.
Yeah, well, first I want to start with a story. I led a college-age life group a few years back, and man, the inconsistency of this college-age life group was crazy. Yeah, no, for real, seriously. And it's crazy because the people in this life group, this small group, were committed to being there at first. Yeah. And the problem was, there's distractions, there's social plans, there's college, there's all kinds of things that get in the way.
You got a boyfriend or girlfriend this week and not next week. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily the leader's fault. It's not necessarily where you're having it. It's not necessarily what's happening in the group. It's just the reality of young people. So there's major inconsistency.
Well, there really are. And you know this as a pastor, that when you're dealing with the younger adults, you're figuring out how do we get these Millennials and Gen Z to stay committed. That's exactly what we want to talk about here with Ryan today. So, Ryan, give us a jump start. We just there's some things that you and I have banged around that you think would be helpful for pastors to factor as they're moving forward with this issue of commitment.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first thing is you need to leverage the ambition of young people. And the reality is there's this notion that young people don't want to be involved in the church, and the young people, it's really hard to get them in the church, and so a lot of times they don't even try. Pastors won't even try, and they'll kind of push it aside, and we can't do that. Young people, the reality is they want to be involved. Yeah, exactly. They want to be involved a lot too, and so we need to embrace the ambition that young people possess already, because it's already there. Yeah. We just need to latch onto it and say, hey, here's some opportunities for you to serve. Hey, what are you interested in? What career field do you want to go into? Hey, we've got this serving opportunity for you that actually fits what you're already interested in. And so what a young person does there is to say, you're looking at me and saying, I've got an opportunity for you. I've got an opportunity for you to use your voice. I'll take it. Yeah, that's what young people do.
Well, and they really do want to be heard, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a big issue. And I'd say one of the things that I observe from my age to yours is that it can look differently. When I think of the ambition of my peers versus the ambition of your peers, a pastor needs to be looking at it differently because they're trying to mobilize both people.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. And I think that another thing, the church needs to be encouraging the young people to find their calling. So if the young people are in this phase where they're in college and they're trying to figure out, they switch their major all the time and they're trying to figure out, what do I want to do with life? A perfect example of that is, hey, we've got this serving opportunity for you. Yeah. And that actually pushes them towards their interests. It pushes them towards what they're going to be called to do and what they might be, doing in the future.
And then strengthens the ability for them to commit.
Absolutely.
Well, sure. And you and I talked earlier about the whole sense of pastors not giving up on this. Yeah. It could be relentless. Talk to us a little bit about that, sticking to it.
Yeah, that would be the second point, is be relentless. Because ultimately, like I said earlier, it might not be your fault that people are leaving the church. Right. It might not be your fault or anything the church is doing that young people, are there one week and then not the next 3 and then there again. It might not be anything to do with what's happening in the church. It could just be that, a relationship, happened or something like that, or college work or finals week or whatever it is. So young people have a life that is constantly changing, constantly going everywhere at once. And so you have to realize that there's a lot of factors that play into the attendance, play into the involvement of young people. So be relentless. Keep asking them to come back. Keep inviting them to social events. Keep inviting them to church events. Keep giving them opportunity, because they will respond to that.
Wouldn't you say that a pastor needs to be a student of this generation. You can't just think that they're just like previous generations. They're just like Gen Z. They're just like boomers. They've got to study them.
Yeah, for sure. It's so important because in our society right now, I would say that millennials and especially Generation Z are changing more rapidly than any other generation before. And they're changing every single day. You know, with social media, there's fads, there's trends that come out, you know, almost daily, where what was cool yesterday is not cool anymore. And what was good yesterday is not good anymore, you know? And so, you need to be a student in not only what is like cool, what is happening in, you know, that generation, but what their tendencies are and what they're driven towards. So
well, and I've also just heard studies on the fact that particularly older pastors who are in the last half of their ministry career, that's a diplomatic way to say the gray hair and so on, they can't even think, to your point, they can't even think of a 22-year-old like an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
They're different.
Yeah. And
whereas if you're my age, you look at 18, 22, 25, 17, they're not.
No,
they
not at all.
think differently.
Yeah.
Therefore, you have to be a student of that, and you've got to be relentless in going after
Absolutely.
them. Talk to us about the next thought you had. I found fascinating.
Yeah, the third point I would say is value the opinion of young people. Like we said,
operative word, value.
Yes. You need to value that opinion because, like let's take youth groups for an example. I know that's not the generation we're really talking about, but say, if we're trying to figure out what a youth group wants to do, what the youth are interested in, ask the youth. If you're sitting around a table and you're all 30, like it's going to be hard to figure out what the people that are involved are actually interested in. And so I would say when you're dealing with young people, go to them to see what they're interested in and what they genuinely want out of a church experience.
And then pay attention to it. One of the worst things to do is ask their opinion and blow it off.
And then not do it.
Oh, yeah, that is a loser, absolute loser. Absolutely. Then you've talked about providing opportunities. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, and so we talked a little bit about leveraging what people are interested. But I want to dive a little bit deeper into that. The emphasis on like the attractional basis of church right now is not a bad thing. All right. So if you have attractional things like, hey, we're going to have popsicles today for service, that's not a bad thing, but it can't be the only thing. Mm-hmm. And so if you are, pushing towards bringing people in and providing, genuine connection, opportunities for genuine connection, the thing is not going to be, hey, we have popsicles before service and everything. It's going to be, hey, we're having a service where we're going to pray together. We're going to have opportunities for a life group. We're going to have, this genuine connection because ultimately young people want the real relationships. They want the real relationship with people and the real relationship with God. They've got a lot of questions and they want it to be answered.
Absolutely. That's outstanding, Ryan. I really appreciate that. Give us a snapshot or give us a recap of the things you just talked about, these 4 things.
Yeah. So the first one's going to be leverage the ambition of young people. Then we're going to be relentless, value the opinion of young people, and then finally provide opportunities for genuine connection.
Honestly, if pastors will pay attention to these 4 things, they're going to see themselves move way down the line of really getting the kind of commitment out of millennials and Gen Z that they want. So, absolutely. Ryan, I really appreciate you taking time to talk with us on this today. We do want you to tap into the next 2 episodes number 43 and 44. Ryan's going to be back as our guest in both of those, and you're going to have some great content that is going to be very, very valuable to you. Also want to mention, as a leader, while you're thinking of leading millennials and Gen Z, you need to be developing as a leader yourself. And we strongly encourage you to take advantage of the 5-day leadership challenge that we've made available to you. Just put in Leaders.Church/challenge, and you'll be able to jump in, get a 12 to 15 minute video every day, and that's designed to help you. Not do everything else, but help you be better as a leader. Because when you get better, then that sets the stage for the church to get better. Also, we certainly would encourage you to subscribe to the podcast, whatever platform you're watching into, and the YouTube channel, and rate and review everything you can. We certainly appreciate that. In fact, we've got a review here from MZ John. And he says, if it's a he, I'm guessing that maybe it's a he, practical proven strategies to strengthen the impact of the church, adopting right procedures to produce right results. Well done, Leaders.Church. Man, I like this guy. So you rate and review, and maybe we're going to read your review on one of the future podcasts. So anything to add, Ryan?
I think we're good.
We all good to go. Thanks very much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you next time. Be blessed.
Hey, Jonathan here, real quick before you go. Everything in your ministry rises and falls on your leadership. So investing in your leadership is essential to staying healthy and growing the ministry. And that's why I want to invite you to join us inside the Leaders.Church membership. This online streaming service for pastors gives you access to more than 300 videos plus training material to level up your leadership and improve your ministry skills. If you'd like to do that, I want to invite you to go to Leaders.Church/boost. Again, that's Leaders.Church/boost. Well, thanks again for joining us on the Church Tips Podcast. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.